All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Mindful Space. I'm your host, Tyler, joined by my co-host, Mr. Johnny.
What up?
Today, we're going to do something a little different. Not really, but I like to say things like that. So, our wonderful camera guy, Preston,
best friend over here.
best friend of our guest today, Aaron. Aaron knows Preston for a while now. Me and Preston, Johnny, were kind of talking about, his friend and what he kind of went through. And we kind of, started to say, oh, shit, it's a little bit like us, right? And we wanted to have him on the podcast and just kind of see alcoholism and a little bit of mental health from his aspect. I know that he doesn't really believe in some of the stuff that we believe in and vice versa. So we're just going to dive into this thing and, kind of dig into Aaron's brain and see, how he feels about alcoholism as a whole and kind of how he navigates it. Right?
Sounds good. Yeah,
Cool,
absolutely.
Man. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah. We really appreciate it. And, thank you, Preston, for introducing us. It's be really cool. Maybe one day you guys will see what Preston looks like,
Full transparency, I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't know that I was in here for that conversation. They say I was.
You weren't?
I have no fucking clue what's going on. I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I didn't mean to sneak up on you.
The drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand.
Yeah. But welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate
absolutely.
it. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man. So let's kind of start. I know we were speaking a little bit about you before we, clicked record, but let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
Kind of like you said, 12 years old, right? You were kind of introduced. So maybe give us a little background, family life, kind of how you grew up, and then we'll jump into that.
Yeah, not a problem. So when I was 8 years old, my dad was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it took him a long, like 4 years to die. And during that time, he tried to kill himself twice, and I effectively stopped him once because he ran out into the front yard with a handgun, perfectly legal and purchased and all that stuff, and licensed, and was just like, I don't want to create a mess for you guys. I just want to end it.
That's why I went outside.
Yeah, and I ran outside and was like, Dad, no, stop. And so, he didn't. So it progressed. I think I was like 10 years old at that point in time. So 2 years later, we're in a hospice where he's currently staying as he's in the process of dying. And he told me, son, you've got to take care of your two younger sisters and your mom now. So that's, your responsibility. And I was just like, this is the most interaction I've had with you probably in like 6 years. But okay. And so after the funeral happened, we came home, and I was well aware of the fact that my family had an extremely well-stocked liquor cabinet, and I indulged heavily, and that created my alcoholism from there. Like I just got myself tanked.
Yeah. Where did that idea come from? So, right, so your father passes. Where did your adolescent mind kind of get that this is going to be my escape from this?
Well, both of my parents are alcoholics.
Okay.
And so like, every night they would drink like a lot. So like it just seemed like, oh, this is like the logical next step for me, probably.
Yeah. That's the first time you ever drank?
Yeah. And
you said you were about 12 years old.
Yeah.
And you got shit-faced.
Oh, just utterly tanked.
Yeah. Okay. And then what happens after that? So does mom get involved? I mean, you're young and drunk at the point, like.
They didn't know.
Okay.
Everybody was kind of in their own feelings after the funeral. So it wasn't like my mom was paying attention to me. So I woke up the next day, obviously just utterly destroyed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh no, life sucks. Oh. And then I got my sisters up and was just like, all right, it's time to go to school, I guess. I don't really. And my mom was like, what's wrong with you? And I was just like, we had a funeral yesterday and you expect me to just like get up?
Yeah.
And she was just like, yes, that's how life works. And I was like, oh, life sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was just kind of how life kind of progressed as time went on. Was and I didn't get myself wasted every night or anything, but I certainly did often enough that my mom began to notice when I was drunk. The problem is that um, I was really good at being drunk. So like I was still articulate. I was still capable of having a conversation with somebody, and I was there at no point in time was anybody like, "Hey, maybe there's a problem here." So that was kind of the issue, and how it was able to progress to the point of me being in my teenage years and just throwing back alcohol without anybody really knowing that it was becoming a problem.
Where'd you get the booze?
Oh, my parents had a very, very well stocked liquor cabinet.
Pour water in them?
No.
Really?
No. I mean,
That's what I did.
I did too. Yeah, I always
My
filled
uncle's
with water.
fucking liquor cabinet was.
No, the rum too. I used to do it with the rum, and then my mom would make like not like coquito, but kind of like coquito around the holidays with the cinnamon and everything. So she's giving it out at a holiday party one time. My mom made bottles, and people were like, "Did you not put alcohol in it this year?" My mom's like, "No," and taste it. And it was, bro, I probably left this much rum and was literally filling them up with water. Oh, it was so embarrassing, bro. My mom was so pissed. Yeah. I was probably around that same age too, like 12, 13. Just all my friends getting bombed, man.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. In a good neighborhood or a bad one?
Oh, good neighborhood. Extremely good. My parents were exceedingly wealthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I never knew that about Baltimore. Because
Baltimore City or county?
County.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay.
I learned that the hard way.
The hard way?
Very, very different.
Okay, so you grew up in Baltimore. So from 12 till when? When did you realize that you had alcoholism and that you might need to stop?
I had been married for a couple of years. I want to say like 27, and my wife was like, "You definitely have a problem," and I was just like, "Yeah, no, I know," because like there was times because it was a dry county, so I couldn't get alcohol on Sundays, and on those Sundays I was like, I think I'm going to die.
Where was this?
Oh, Baltimore County.
Okay, it is a dry county on Sundays?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Parkville, the area that we were in was a dry county. So you couldn't get alcohol on Sundays. And if I didn't plan ahead and get alcohol, the night before enough to last me through a Sunday, I would just start to deteriorate. And that was, and it got to the point where I was like curled up in a ball and like practically throwing up like in bed. And my wife was like, "We need to get you to rehab." Like immediately.
So how long ago was this?
I'm 37, so this was like 10 years ago.
After the Marine Corps?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well after.
So
you were in the Marine Corps?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. So we got to back up a whole lot. Did you think you were an alcoholic prior to going in the Marine Corps?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
I dreamt about alcohol every night when I was in boot camp and combat training at MOS school. Fortunately, at MOS school, they had a bar like on the campus.
Yeah. Where did you go to MOS school?
Camp Jackson, something like that. Long time ago. Yeah.
Camp Geiger.
Yeah. Yeah. It was because I was a Humvee and 7-ton mechanic.
Oh, so you went to an army base, didn't you?
No. It was definitely camp. It was definitely 100%.
Yeah, I kicked pills in boot camp. You know what I mean?
Like Roxy's?
In boot camp?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was a full-blown drug addict prior to the Marine Corps, and
were you Parris Island?
Yeah, I went to Parris Island. I had weaned down, but it's the best kick I ever had.
Really?
Yeah, you're just.
There's a lot going on.
You don't know what day it is, the night or day for a couple. You know what I mean? So like those first couple days where you're really dope sick. The worst part was shitting through a screen. You know what I mean? Like they make you do a drug test, and luckily I had taken some stuff and whatever. When they made us do it, it was like 3 days in, but it's when you're all unloading. You know? Yeah. So like I was like, I can't piss unless I sit on the toilet. You know, the drill instructors fucking hated that.
Oh yeah.
So they had to watch me like shit while I'm pissing in a cup.
They stand directly over you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was the best kick of my life. It's like kind of like when you kick in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what jail you're in, you can't get any. You can't
no
get anything.
options.
You know, it's like you kind of, you know, your mind kind of is okay. I have no
the
choice.
mental
like
kind of
the same reason you can't kick on the couch because you know you can just leave and go get high. Or
Right,
drunk,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was the opposite of that. But yeah, I mean, I obviously knew, right? Because I was like, I wasn't homeless back then when I joined the Marine Corps, but I was like, my life, I had opened cases in New York City, and so I knew the jig was up for me.
Yeah.
And when I joined, did you have the same? Did you join at 18 or?
I joined at 21.
Okay, so a little that's an eternity, right? For the Marine Corps, like you're the old man in boot camp.
Yeah.
I joined at 25.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You were the real old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that or die, bro. At that point.
And that was what was so funny when we got in there. The drill instructors, a lot of them were like, "Hey, why aren't the older guys taking charge?" And it's just like, because we're here because we had nothing else, and the kids who joined at 18 like knew what they wanted to do.
Sure.
So like obviously, you know, the kids are gonna be more in control of what's going on because they've already been more in control of their lives than the people who are here out of desperation could possibly be.
So what made you join the Marine Corps?
That's a really stupid and funny story. I wanted to join the Air Force, and the way that our recruitment areas were set up was Air Force was right here, and just down the hall was Marines. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that at all. But I didn't want to do it by myself. So I was like dragging my friend along. I was like, we're doing this. We're joining the Marine Corps. We're joining the military. And we were going into the Air Force recruitment office, and the chick that was there, who was like running the place, sucked at her job. Like hardcore, was never there. And I kept on showing up, and my buddy kept on showing up, and she was like, and we were like, hey, we had an appointment. Fucking, can I say that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
Say whatever the fuck.
Have you been listening to me?
Yeah.
And so I was like, fucking seriously, why the fuck are you not here? And one day my buddy went into the Air Force recruitment office and was just like, yeah, of course she's not fucking here again.
Yeah.
And the Marine Corps guys were just down the hall. Door was open, and they were like, hey, man, why don't you come on down here? and he was like, all right. I mean, I've been coming up here for the last like 15 days, and she hasn't been here. So like, fuck it. And he went down there, and they sold him, you know, the whole, you know, being the tip of the spear sort of thing. And he came back that day. I came home from work, and he was just like, hey, man, we're joining the Marines. And I was like, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess we're doing this.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and that's how that happened. He became an LAV mechanic, and I was a Humvee and 7-ton mechanic. And we were in boot camp, combat training, not an MOS school together, obviously, because, you know, two different MOSs. But we were stationed together, you know, for virtually everything. But, yeah. And then I got med-sept because I had, we were doing live fire exercises at Quantico, and I had a seizure, probably from alcohol. I don't know. And I had, my weapon was fully live.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, we can't have that. That's not, you know, safe.
Yeah.
And that could have killed somebody if you had just like seized up and just decided to like pull the trigger. And they were like, okay, so yeah, you're out, and that's it. And that was it. And I was like, hey, so do I get any kind of like VA services? And they were like, no, not really.
How long were you in?
3 years.
Wow.
You don't have a disability rating?
I mean, yeah, kind of, but it hasn't applied to anything. I've tried.
No, do you have a percentage? Do you get a paycheck? Do you get a check?
Oh, no.
What kind of discharge did you get?
Medical separation.
Under honorable conditions?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I can get, that's crazy. Have you spoke to a lawyer? This, we don't need to talk
Yeah,
about
no,
this.
we'll talk about this after.
I've been through all this. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
That's crazy, man. Because you didn't do anything wrong, you know? Like it. Wow.
That's wild. So, were you drinking heavily then? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was the seizure because of the drinking, or?
That's what I'm saying. It could have been.
Yeah. It's dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
Really dangerous.
Yeah. So then did you get married while you were in the Marine Corps?
Just after.
Yeah. Just after?
Yeah, 2012.
So someone you know, like, did you meet in the Marine Corps? Or
No.
No, I mean, that's the typical thing.
Yeah,
you know?
ordinarily, no. I come home and met her.
So how'd you end up in Florida?
We got married down here back in 2012. And it was always our dream to move down here. And things hadn't been going so well for my wife's career back up in Baltimore. So we decided, hey, let's kind of like pack up. We'll sell our house, move down here. When we brought her mom, my mother-in-law, with us. She sold her place as well. She already had a condo, down here. So, it was just,
Oh, okay.
just felt like, time to make a change.
Yeah, perfect. And when was that? When did you move to Florida?
2018.
Okay. So you've been down here a little bit of time.
Yeah.
How do you know Preston? How did you guys meet?
Preston and I met through Hubbard Broadcasting.
Okay. That was the radio station?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's what you do for work?
I do that, and I also socialize and train dogs for a living.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like attack dogs, kind of like?
No. Like normal
service animal kind of thing?
No,
or just
normal dogs.
Oh, basic training.
Basic,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
just, like normal domesticated house dogs.
Yeah.
I don't
The
When you
opposite
think
of
of
attack
like
dogs.
when
Yeah.
you think of like dog training, like my head
Yeah,
usually
alright.
goes towards like German Shepherd
Or
sitting
or
next
therapy
to you.
dogs.
Goodness
Yeah.
gracious. No, I like super normal, just like, hey, let's just like not shit on the floor.
Yeah.
So let me.
yeah.
So that
Regular
brings up
behavior.
something interesting. So let me just get to it.
Yeah.
So are you currently sober? Not in the moment. I don't give a shit. I'm just saying. Like,
No,
do you drink?
But since the stuff with my wife going on, yeah, I did start to drink a little bit.
So does that fuck you up with the dogs? Like, as far as like your energy with the animals? Because for
No.
instance, when I was using,
great
right,
question.
my dog since passed away, but I had
Oh,
4
I'm so
great
sorry to hear
years.
that.
No, it's fine. So I got a great new psycho dog, but I had 4 good years of, my mom and it's a, whole long story. My mom and dad kind of basically took ownership of my dog, but I used to bring my dog to cop dope, because my wife would be sleeping. My deal was like, until I left the street, left to be homeless, I would leave at like 12 o'clock at night and I'd come back at like 5 a.m. when my wife, before she woke up, and I'd be out there and I'd bring the dog with me so that she wouldn't bark when I got home. And she, I know, had PTSD just because of the energy.
Oh,
I'm
no.
bringing her to the crack house. You know what I mean? Like and she would look at me. I remember now I was also high and paranoid probably. I'm like, like not again, Dad,
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And so, but I know my energy during that time, she became scared of me. And it took like 2 years because I moved out of the state and everything. When I would come home, it took like 2 years of me working that relationship to where she kind of fell back in love with her dad,
Mhm.
And that sounds crazy unless you own dogs. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I guess that's my question. Like, how can you, because dogs are able to feel on emotion. So when your emotion's off and drink and you're numbing yourself, because we could probably talk about that while you're drinking again. But like, does that get in the way, you think?
No. In fact, I feel like it doesn't have any impact at all on my relationship with the dogs, just because I know I've been working there for a couple of years now, and I know a lot of these dogs because they are there on a daily basis. You know, so like these are dogs that they're either boarding or daycare, and they're there a lot. Like these people drop their dogs off, and they're just like, all right, bye for a month, and I'm like, oh, Loki, buddy. What's your run card say? Run card being like the thing. And I'm just like, oh, here from like that is literally a month. Oh, good Lord. But he knows me because we've had a relationship, and it doesn't matter if I'm drunk or sober. They're able to pick up on, you know, they're like, oh, it's that guy, the guy with the beard.
Yeah.
Cool. So generally
or
speaking,
your scent probably.
yeah,
right?
probably
it's
also
probably
that.
scent, like,
Yeah.
So this is like a school for dogs, right? Like the parents could drop the dog off in the morning, pick them up at 5 o'clock while they're at work, stuff like that.
I have I have 3 dogs, but my puppy, Grogu, he goes to where I work like every day. And I take care of him. He's out with you know, in group with me. A group being like, you know, all the dogs, all the big guys going out together. So yeah, that's effectively what it is. Yeah.
So have you put time together before? Sober time?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that's a big part of why I'm in the situation that I'm in. You know, my situation is my relationship with my wife has kind of been like not great, and so she kind of found solace in another person, and it was like emotionally cheating on me, I guess you would say, which, you know, given everything, can't really super blame her for that. But like I said, I have dissociative identity disorder. Apparently one of my alters, as they are called, decided that they wanted to end me, and tried and failed. And I was in a hellhole of a psychiatric facility for over a week. Like I'm talking like horror movie-esque, like flickering fluorescent
What city?
lights.
I don't know.
Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a while away. But it was rough. There was not a single person there that was sane. And I even got attacked by a tiny little blonde lady who thought that I was she thought that she was married to Jesus.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, well, you know. But she looked at me and was just like, "What's your name?" And I was just like, "Aaron." And she was just like, "You're Jewish?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "You killed my husband." And I was just like, no, that was thousands.
Because she's married to Jesus. I got it.
Right, yeah.
I got it.
Okay, Pontius Pilate.
Right, exactly. And so later that night, all of our doors are unlocked because they have to be able to come in and check on us to make sure that we're like, you know, alive. And this little blonde lady like came in and was just like hopped on top of me and was just like, "You killed my husband," and it was like little tiny punches.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, and I knew the tech who was on board who like was checking on us, and I was like,
"Help,
Gary, Gary, can we?" And and I heard like sprinting down the hallway, and he like got in there, and he was like, "Oh shit, oh, I'm sorry," and he like grabbed him by the nape of the neck and was just like, "Sorry about that," and I was just like, "Okay, so like, is that it?" And he was like, "Yep." I was like, "Thanks, Gary." And he just like tossed her in a room and
Gary
locked
has
the
a little
door.
blonde by the back of her collar, you know.
So that was just a lot. So yeah, so obviously during that time I wasn't able to drink. And when I came back, I was really trying hard not to, but it's been rough. So I'm here and there. I drink.
Well, just so you know, there's no judgment here. I shoot heroin, smoke
None.
crack, and shoot fucking methamphetamines.
Yeah.
And I burn everything to the ground, and I'm unfaithful to my wife, and I leave my daughter, and I will fucking step over my mother and father to get what I need. So I'm just saying anything that I'm talking about, like,
Oh yeah, no.
you know what I
get
mean?
it.
Who fucking cares, bro?
Yeah.
It's about what you're going to do with it. So I guess that's the question. What is your intentions with that? Like, you know?
I especially now, given my life circumstances, I am trying to move away from it. But again, because I've been an alcoholic since I was 12 years old, it's hard. And it's because like even when I am like fully separated from the ability to drink alcohol, the dreams that I have are
What do you
just
mean fully separated from the ability?
like incapable of getting it. Like so, like when I was at the facility,
Institutionalized.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ty.
Yeah, I have dreams about alcohol, and they're like
Sure.
they're the worst. Dreams about alcohol are the absolute worst because what happens is that in these dreams, I've got like a nice big glass of whiskey in front of me, and my hand just like passes through it, and I'm like, it's like the one thing that I want, and I can't
Sure.
have it.
I got like almost 6 years and I still have drug dreams once in a while, smoking crack, and I can't get high. That's the worst part about it. I don't
you
even
were
get
telling
high.
me about that. Yeah.
What do you have? What happens in yours?
What do you mean?
What
I
happens
wake up when I'm about to smoke crack.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You're
then
just
I'm,
like,
and
you're
then-
just
and,
right
and,
there,
and
yeah.
early, it used to, oh, I got to get high but now I'm super grateful when I wake up. You know what I mean? Thank God I didn't do that because my thought is that if I do, I'll never stop.
Yeah.
I've subscribed to the allergy and the obsession and the spiritual malady, right? The threefold disease. I subscribe to that.
Gotcha.
I know that I got that. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak for anyone else I don't have any medical proof of that. I just have my experience. And so, yeah, that's what happens. And I mean, it's very few and far between, but I mean, if I have a conversation like on here with someone and we're talking about shit, like that shit'll, you know what I mean? I mean, look, dude, drugs and alcohol saved my life for a long time. Then it tried to kill me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I got out of the Marine Corps, I got two best friends that fucking put 45s in their mouth and they're not here anymore. And I believe that would have been my fate if I hadn't been able to shoot a big bag of heroin, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm real about that. And some people may not like to hear it. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is my experience, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the reason that you stayed alive was because you had the ability to numb what
drugs
they
and alcohol
did.
was my solution to what was going on in my head for a long time.
100%.
And then it stopped being that solution. And that's when suicide probably became an option but recovery also became an option, right? So with that being said, like, where are you at in that process? Like, are you into the whole, what are your thoughts on recovery? What does recovery look like for you? Are you a guy who thinks you can just drink or can you just sip on a couple beers?
No. Beer doesn't do anything for me. It's got to be like vodka or whiskey. But like quite literally, it does nothing. I ascribe to smart recovery. That's my thing. I tried. I went to a couple of AA meetings up in Baltimore, but I had the religious aspect is too much for me. Like there was this one dude who like was a guest speaker, and he was just like, "And I am a convert. I believe in the blood of the lamb." And I was like, "Oh no, no!" And I was just like,
Right.
and I left.
Yeah.
Because that was too much. I like the scientific aspect of it, like being able to think your way out of it without using that kind of rhetoric. So that's my way.
Can you explain like think your way out of it, Greg? Because I'm not really familiar. I don't know if you're familiar with like smart recovery, but
I mean, I'd love to hear.
yeah.
Oh,
if
sure,
you
I
could just
could
explain
think
to us kind of like how it works.
Yeah.
I think my way into it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is thinking kind of is a double-sided, a double-edged sword there, because like you think your way into your addiction, and but you got to think your way out. So the way that smart recovery works is you just talk to other people who are also on like the same level as you, and you're like, hey, how exactly do you get through this? And they give you their options, and they're like, hey, don't get in your car, which isn't a problem for me because I've had two DUIs and I don't have a license. You can just like, before you leave the house and like walk over to a liquor store, go ahead and just like hop on and talk with me, and we can just talk about it, and you don't have to do that. And it's a lot of just like manipulating your brain to because it's all in your prefrontal cortex. You're not really in the driver's seat at that point. That's just like the way that addiction works.
At what point?
When you're like an alcoholic, the prefrontal cortex is the area of your brain that kind of controls your
Right.
your actions and your emotions. And if you are an addict, the drug that you prefer has already blazed its way through there. So it's like, hey, this is, your brain is mine now. And so you have to do what you can to head that off at the pass and just say like, no, absolutely not.
Fight your own brain.
Yeah, you're absolutely. It's exactly correct. You're fighting your own brain. It's very much an internal struggle, and you have to be able to use the resources that are around you. Like, and this isn't true for everybody because it's, not everybody has family, not everybody has these resources. But if you can, and if they're available to you, you can use them. Smart recovery. There are like a lot of websites online, and they do like Zoom meetings every single night, and they have a whole bunch of different kinds of Zoom meetings. So it's like people who have just decided that they want to get clean. There are other meetings where it's like, hey, no, I've been doing this for a while. There are other ones where it's just like, hey, this is just meditation. So we just want you to, if you're cool with it, we just want you to just sit here and try to clear your mind. It just depends.
Yeah.
Do they subscribe to the disease model?
Yeah. Well, yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how's that work? Like, if the allergy part, right? How if you're not running the show, how do you run the show? How do you take over? Like, if you got to think your way out of it, but you've already had the allergies live, right? Like, how does thinking your own way out of something that you just got yourself into, how does that work? And I'm not trying, dude, I know it'll probably sound, I hope so. I hope we get comments like picking apart. I really want, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
maybe
sure,
I am, but I just don't. Like, how's that work?
Yeah, we just don't know.
That's a real meta question. It's one of those things. It's like thinking about thinking, and it's it really is. It's hard.
Yeah. Do you believe? I'm just gonna go sure. Right. Do you believe in any type of greater, higher power?
I just don't know.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm one of those. I'm one of those. I don't know people.
Yeah.
Bro, in full disclosure, when people start talking about the blood of the lamb, which I've never, but like if they did, like I would turn off too. And I'm a big teachings of Jesus, and without the religious aspect. You know what I mean? I think anyone that reads is going to be
Hebrew.
Like, yeah, Elohim, because I believe in one higher power, but like one ultimate God, whatever the fuck that may be.
Right.
But I hate when people bring religion. But also, I can't blame them because that's their higher power. As long as they don't push their higher power on me,
that's the thing.
You're okay.
Yeah. And so I can understand, and I hate, and I don't like to reinvent the wheel, but like I hate the Lord's Prayer because it sounds so religious to newcomers, right? In meetings,
and it's a big turnoff.
I'm kind of like, it's not like that's exactly what got people think it's a religious program. And it's a cult and everything. Well, that sounds culty and it's fucking religious.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but it's really about your higher power, right? Like whether you're willing to find a higher power. That's where I found solace in the 12-step AA, NA, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. My thing has become, I've since my incident, I have become a mantra guy, which I'm not super happy about, but it's what it is what it is. I keep telling myself now is not forever and time heals all wounds. And that helps. I just say that. And I say that to myself a couple of times in the morning, and that allows me to get up and go to work and, shower and make my bed and just, function. But the first time I was in the same place, it was an IOP. It was an intensive outpatient
When was
service.
this?
This was 2018.
Okay. So 2018, your first treatment facility was an IOP.
Yeah.
You didn't go to detox.
No. Well, no, they detox you there.
Okay.
But
at an outpatient level.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just explain to us kind of like how that was.
So basically what happens is that you go in and they're fully prepared for you to, like be detoxing, and they give you sedatives like Ativan, that sort of thing, to be able to like come down without harming your body. Because as I'm sure everybody here knows, alcohol is like one of the most dangerous substances to detox from.
Correct. Yeah.
You can like quite literally
alcohol and benzos. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll kill you.
Yeah.
So they keep you there for long enough to make sure that you're not going to die. And then they send you home. And then they're like, come back here tomorrow.
Same time. Yeah.
Same time. And you're going to be here for like 5 hours.
Okay.
And then you go home. And then like they do that for about like 6 weeks. But like the amount of time that you spend at the facility decreases per week, at least for the place that I went. And then the place that I went to, the most recent place that I went to was Florida. It was Recovery Unplugged. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're familiar with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the IOP.
Yeah.
You said it was a 6-week program.
Yeah.
The detox.
No, the detox part was like, oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm touching your feet.
5 to 7 days, something around there.
Like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you feel on the 4th day?
Tired. But I was
you
okay.
were fine.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that. Like outpatient detox 3
I'll
days.
hear about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Hear more about it.
Yeah, we'll hear more about it.
Yeah, I mean, like you're still prescribed the drugs though, so it's like you go home and you kind of like self-monitor, or you have family monitor.
Sounds like a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not like it worked because I went through it twice.
So the second time, how much time was in between? So you went, right, 6 weeks, you got sober.
Yep.
Did you stay sober at all?
Yeah.
Or did you kind of jump right back into it?
Yeah, no, I stayed sober for a couple of weeks and was just like, I think I can handle it.
You're cured. Yeah. Yeah, they cured you.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And then obviously, that was not how that played out.
And what made you go to rehab then?
The second time?
Either time.
Oh, well, the first time was kind of just like realizing that, like the idea that I couldn't go without a drink for like, what, like not even like 5 hours,
right?
Was
that was enough was enough. You realize that problem.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then, how about the other time?
The other time was I got a DUI. I was driving home. I was
drunk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But the thing, I mean, like, clearly, but it was 4th of July, and my wife and I were over at a friend's house, and it was a party, and everybody was getting obliterated, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. We're back up in Maryland, just for reference sake, and they were in like this county that's like way off in the woods. And I was not super familiar with how to get there. And my wife and I drove separately because we both went from our jobs separately. I had one of our dogs. She had our other dog. And I was like, okay, so just make sure that when you leave, you let me know when you're leaving so I can follow you. And then she did not do that. And and she took our German Shepherd with her. And I was like, hey, has anyone seen my wife? And they were like, oh, yeah, she left. And I was like, great. All right. And I took my giant black lab and I was like, all right, buddy, I guess we're going home. So he hopped in the car with me and I was driving down the road. And obviously, because it's 4th of July, cops are like crazy vigilant. They're like really looking for anything. And my dog is a giant black lab. And he kind of just like shoved his face into my face. And I was like, buddy. And I swerved just a little bit. And then suddenly lights. And I was like, and I'm fucked. I am fucked.
That sounds like what you told the cop. What really? Is that...
No, like seriously, that is. I swear to Christ, that is exactly what happened.
We ain't cops, bro.
Yeah. No. I would tell you. I mean, this feels like a really comfortable space. I would 100% have told you if I was just like,
gotcha. Yeah.
But no, it was like Ben like got in my dog. He was just like licking my face, and I was like, you son of a bitch. And then that's when the lights popped off, and I was like, and I'm done.
What'd they do with your dog when they took you in?
They held on to him. They took care of him.
Oh, poor Ben.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that they didn't drop him off like a shelter or something, you know?
They
watched him for you.
They kept him at the station.
Okay. So, why? I'm too blunt sometimes. Why'd you pick up? So you got out of that facility, and you went right back to drinking just lately.
Not right back.
Wait, so when did you get out of the psych hospital?
A month and a half ago.
Also been to psych hospital 15 times. Yeah. So I'm gonna call it what it is, psych hospital. Right? Like, how long ago?
About a month and a half ago.
Okay. And did you just start boozing?
No, not immediately.
Yeah. So I just like getting down to the nitty gritty. Why'd you start boozing?
Just because of where I am in life right now. I'm living with my mother-in-law, who fortunately loves me to death. So I'm living with her right now.
And your wife?
No.
Okay.
No, my wife lives across the street from us.
Gotcha.
I could be living there if I wanted to, but just I'm not trying to push things. I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible and just make sure that everybody is comfortable. I don't like call or text more than I have to. Just being like, okay, we're gonna take
no kids.
One child adopted.
Okay, with the wife now.
Yeah.
Okay. How old?
She's gonna be 12 in November.
So back to the drink. So then.
Sure.
So again, you know what's gonna happen when you drink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, living with the mother-in-law is not a reason.
No.
Yeah.
There's no good reason.
No, bro. Who cares? Good or bad? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
That shit don't matter.
It's just it's weakness is what it is. I'm doing my best to not, but every now and again I'm just alone in my bed, which frankly I haven't been alone in a bed for well over a decade. So it's weird and terrible sometimes because I'm like, I miss my wife.
Sure.
And to be able to, I don't sleep anymore, really. So to be able to even get a little bit of sleep, I drink just enough to be able to pass out.
Can you stop?
Can I stop? Yeah, probably. I don't know. That's actually a lie. That's not a lie. I don't know.
That was a loaded question.
Yeah, it was such a loaded question.
Hey, you want a newsflash? You can't fucking stop. It's all right.
I wouldn't be able
Do you want to stop?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to never have to pick up a bottle again.
But
I
don't want to.
No, it's just life sucks right now.
Yeah,
you're running from pain.
Yeah,
you're running from pain.
Yeah,
you don't want to face it right now, so you say, "Listen, I'm going to take this off the shelf. I'm going to put my pain on the shelf, and until I'm ready to face that pain, I'm going to keep this bottle."
Yeah, that actually was very succinct. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Nice,
well,
dude. Hey, way to go,
I know what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Just because
that's what I'm saying. These are rhetorical questions because we've been there.
Yeah,
totally.
You know what I'm saying?
You might drink and Johnny might smoke crack and I might shoot heroin, but at the end of the day, we fucking know what it feels like to have to fucking escape into a substance to not feel how we feel now.
Yeah.
So just because we all grew up in different ways and use different substances, I know what fucking hurt feels like. I know what disappointment feels like.
Or
I know what fucking fear feels like. Pain, That's why we get fucked up, is because we don't want to feel those things, And I think for you, you're a lot, I think, like me, where I will psychoanalyze everything to make it make sense, but it's okay for shit not to fucking make sense. And I think we've spoken about, it don't make fucking sense that Johnny grew up in Boca and is ended up a heroin addict, you know? Like, that doesn't, like, I grew up in Throgs Neck in the Bronx, you know, very nice, middle class, Italian, Irish neighborhood, parents, best, family, the best schools, everything. I ended up a fucking heroin addict. That shit don't make no fucking sense, you know? But when we psychoanalyze, we kind of fuck ourselves on the back end, you know? Whereas Johnny has really reminded me over the last 6 months, like, this shit is so fucking simple, you know? We complicate this. So if we try to simplify it, it's easier to get the help rather than psychoanalyzing everything and looking for all these questions, all these answers to questions that we don't really even need, right? It's like, I'm an alcoholic, now what? Rather than, why am I alcoholic? Now what? Well, now what? You know, and it kind of, you get that fucking snowball effect,
right.
you know?
The meta aspect of it.
Exactly, you know? To whereas, like, I think if you tried to find a way to not psychoanalyze these things, it might be a little easier for you, you know?
Well, yeah, and I'm with a trauma therapist right now. By with, I mean I'm seeing a trauma therapist.
Yeah. We can cut that out if you want. If you don't want your wife to see.
No.
What do you mean seeing? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You're screwing me, man.
Yeah.
Preston will cut that out.
You don't have to, buddy.
No, that's cool. Yeah. But here's the thing too, right? Seeing a trauma therapist while you're still drinking to fucking mask or numb those same emotions, you're not really getting the full fucking
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. 100%.
Again, been there, done. Again.
Yeah.
Got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I would get high to go see my therapist. Like, what? You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to deal with what she was about to get out of me.
Yeah.
So I preemptive strike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Numb yourself before you have to start feeling stuff.
Why wouldn't I? That's the question. You know, people always like, well, I don't know why. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. I do take pride in the fact that I don't drink before or during our sessions because they're telehealth, so like it's over the phone. It's like a Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of just like seems to be the way that things go these days.
What's the time frame?
It's usually about like 5:30 in the evening until 6:30.
No, I mean, like, you say you don't drink before or after. Like, what are we talking about? An
how
hour
long?
after?
Yeah,
like, what are we at?
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's fair. I don't. I don't drink before.
How long?
I don't drink during, which I could if I wanted to, frankly.
sure.
You know, because it's telehealth. I could just be like, hold on one second.
So do you stop drinking, say, right? It starts at 5:30.
No.
I don't stop drinking at 4:30, or you don't drink at all before?
I don't drink at all before. So and what I'll do is I'll put after we're done with our session, and I feel like I need to start going to bed because I have to get up really early to go to work. I'm talking like I have to be up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So maybe I'll take like a swig at like 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Generally.
Yeah. And now how's that day for you, right? So that day you don't drink, the day you go to therapy, that day looks a lot different than the rest of the week for you, right? Because you're not numbing at all.
No.
So you're feeling everything that fucking day.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I mean,
how is that? It fucking sucks. Like
it depends on. So sometimes it really does suck, and I'm sitting there with the dogs, and the dogs help a lot. By the way,
Of course.
I mean, like, they are therapy.
Yeah.
In biological form.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it has to do with my mindset. So sometimes I'm like, oh my God, life sucks. I want to just go ahead and walk into the ocean and never come back. And there are other times when I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. I just need to go ahead and, give it some breathing room, and everything will be okay. So it depends. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. But like there's like the only consistency is no consistency, which is probably really frustrating for anybody who's trying to find any kind of solace out of this.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's just like, well, anybody who's like listening to this and is just like, so what do I do? And I'm just like, I don't No.
No, you don't have to know. We know.
Yeah.
We
That's
know.
the cool part
I
about
know.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we know. You know what I mean? You got to stop. You got to stop. And if you can't stop, you need to ask people to help you to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. I'm not stopping on my own. Again, I don't. So I find a lot of people in smart recovery are highly intelligent people that have been like that, and that kind of is a detriment, right? Like I got sober in Cocaine Anonymous, whatever. I go to AA. I'm going to an NA meeting tonight. I don't give a fuck about that, what A it is, right? I'm a 12-step guy because it gave me a solution.
Yeah.
It's a pathway to a solution.
Whatever works for
What
you.
I find is that a lot of really intelligent people get thrown off by that, the simplicity of it, and then and a lot of them go to smart recovery, right? So I don't know much about it other than what you told me, but like, if that is what can get you sober, like, why don't you go to a meeting, you know? Why aren't you, and I get it why you're not, right? Because I couldn't just go to an AA meeting. I had to be separated from the drugs and the alcohol.
Yeah.
If that's you, then you need to ask, like, because you're saying you don't know how. And like people on here finding solace, like, that's what we're here to do. Like, we have options for you, not just our company that we work for. Like, there's thousands of options, right? But we can't do it, right? There has to be an element of willingness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why we get to that, like, do you want it? And you say, yeah, but then you're like, I'm lying, which is the greatest truth you could tell, bro. Like, because
Seriously.
no shit, right? But do you want help?
That's the thing is I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's as simple as that. I wish it was.
Mhm.
I wish like it could be.
So tell me why it's not.
Because
Now, simple and easy are two different things.
Yeah,
Remember that.
well, that's correct. You're 100% correct. It's because there are again a part of the problem is of my dissociative identity disorder, which are you familiar with?
I was going to ask that after this, but if you could dive in so we could, and they could know, like, I'm kind of familiar. I don't know if you're familiar, but let us know. Explain it to us.
Sure. It's basically what happens is that your mind, especially during the developmental stages, fragments, and the fragments are there for the purpose of protecting like the whole. So I have, at least as far as I know, 4 different identities outside of the
Okay.
person that you're talking to. They don't come out very often, and they certainly haven't been protecting me recently. But when they decide to come out, they do it hard. And it's one of the things that can subdue them and keep them from, wrecking me and just effectively ruining my life is I can drink a little bit and they don't happen. So it's I don't. And one of the things that people often ask me when I talk about this, like especially my trauma therapist, they ask me questions like, do you communicate with them at all? And I'm
Mhm.
like, no, I have no idea who they are. If it
Yeah.
weren't for the fact that I was interacting with other people within within that mind frame, I wouldn't even know that I had it.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife tells me that I have at least 4. One of them is named Nathan. She says he's the scariest because he's the most like me and is extremely intelligent. And for all she knows, like he could just take me over one day and
And she wouldn't really know.
and she wouldn't know.
Yeah. Who names them? Or
Them?
do they name themselves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah, well, because
Again.
you don't know. You're not conscious kind of while this is happening, but your wife is the one who's telling you this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, last night you blacked out. Nathan came out. This is kind of what happened.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
100%. That is what happens.
Does medication work?
No. There's no medication to.
So-
Yeah.
How do you know that alcohol works?
Because I drink and I go to sleep and I wake up and nothing has changed around me. So it's like and I'll talk to my wife and be like, hey, anything crazy happened last night? And she'll be like, no, you're good. And I would be like, okay, great. And I'm like looking around like, are you sure? You know?
Yeah. And then on the other side of that, when you don't drink, you wake up the next day and everything around you kind of looks different. And she's like, hey, this is what happened last night.
Every time?
Yeah. I mean, you know, again, it's not like a daily occurrence. But, you know, stress is a huge thing, you know, and sometimes that can come from, you know, just like my daughter being a jerk, because you know, she's adopted, and so she's got a lot of her own stuff going on, so she can be a handful. My wife is not like, you know, exceptionally mentally healthy herself, and she knows that. She takes medication and sees a therapist. So like there are some days when it's like, oh my fucking God.
So could it be that the alcohol is not really the cure? It's the lack of stress that alcohol, the depressant that alcohol is?
Yeah, I mean,
and if you could find a way to channel it without the booze, like to get to calm yourself.
100%.
Right. So couldn't that be the goal?
I would. That actually sounds like a phenomenal goal. Yeah.
Right. But then you'd have to stop boozing and be able to actually get to those depths and fix it. Right?
Start to work on it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you have to come to some kind of baseline, right? Like that's what we tell people when we help them get into treatment. Like the reason that we get rid of the drugs and alcohol is because we hit this baseline. Now, once we get to that baseline, we can start to build from that, you know, but we don't know who you are because you're intoxicated, right? So once you hit that baseline, but I think it's hard for you to hit that baseline because you're so scared of the stresses that's going to cause the multi-personality disorder. What I forgot what the name of it was.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
You know, and it's kind of like you keep stacking on top of this, and you're just getting farther and farther away from your baseline, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That
I think there's
tracks.
a lot of loopholes going on, you know, like kind of like inside of your brain where you're saying, like, if I do this, I can't fucking do this. Fuck. I want to get, and it's kind of like you just keep turning around, you know?
It's a negative feedback loop that just keeps on spiraling downward.
She's never video or recorded you in an altered personality?
She did years ago. But
so with that being said, when did this start?
Oh my God, like 2000. I mean, as far as my relationship my alter's relationship with her, I mean, like way back in like 2013.
Does it only come out with her, not other people?
I mean, as far as I know.
Nah, you been cool, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know until you told me that.
So you learned about this from your wife.
Yeah.
Now, question, don't take it the wrong way. You said that your wife isn't the most mentally healthy, right?
Correct.
And that she's on medications. Could this be her thing or definitely not?
I don't think so, just because I do have missing time from like from when even when I wasn't drinking, like I do have like spots where I'm just like I'm like I'm with it and I totally have every idea as to what's going on. Haven't been drinking, and then it's just like boom, somewhere else.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, it's not exactly the ideal.
What do doctors say about this? Like how do you move forward with life having that, living with that without the alcohol? Because you have to be able to.
Yeah, what they tell you in the hospital? They just sent you home?
Oh yeah.
And they didn't give you any
diagnosis?
Or
I mean, they gave me a diagnosis, but it's not like I was in like effectively like a Baker Act facility, so it wasn't like I was in a long-term care area. It was one of those places where it was like you're here for 7 days, and then
Coral Shores.
Wow, was I? That's the
big psych hospital up there.
Yeah, maybe I was. Holy shit!
Earlier.
Yeah. The facility I was in recently, they were like giving me not only were they giving me Ativan just to be able to not die, but they also were giving me like Lexapro and stuff like that. I can't stand Lexapro. specifically. I prefer because that I don't know what it is about Lexapro, but like I lose all dexterity, and I feel like
adverse reaction.
Yeah.
Anything we can do to help you?
I mean, just like talking with you guys right now has been extremely helpful.
Yeah. I think that you've opened up a little bit and probably more than you normally do.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Yeah, because I think for you, man, like, and there's people that you meet in life, like, you're extremely educated and, like, like you could do a lot of great things in life. I feel like this might be holding you back a little bit, because I know you have a plethora of knowledge in your brain. Like, you're ready to go, but you got these things kind of like holding you back,
That is, I appreciate the use of the word plethora.
I think he said it wrong.
No, plethora.
right.
That's
I
good.
think he said, okay.
No, I'm intelligent.
No, I know you are. I know, but it's in New York it slips out.
For using plethora.
I'm glad you remembered.
It's one of my favorite words.
I'm glad you remembered where you were from this time.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
Long Island.
Yeah, last time I told somebody I was from Long Island on the last podcast, and obviously with the accent, I'm from the Bronx, the guy was famous, so I was a little nervous, Preston called himself a fan.
Hey, clip that. I'm going to send it to Jared.
Yeah. Jared knows.
So, yeah, man. But, like, I guess it comes back. Do you want to stop drinking? Because you never really answered that. Or do
Yeah,
you,
yes,
I mean, look,
would.
dude, I'll be honest with you. I've never heard where alcohol is really a cure. It's always a fucking fake cure.
Oh, 100%.
It's a temporary fix.
Yeah.
It's never fixed anyone's medical, or, issues going on in their mind. It may seem that way. And
It's only ever been a detriment as far as I'm concerned. Both like, financially, relationship wise. Absolutely.
Yeah. Would you be able to like get help? Like would you be able to like go to treatment? Like, are you open to treatment these days?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love nothing more than to not have this goddamn monkey on my back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but no, because you just said yeah, but no, because
I know.
you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like,
it's the fear.
It's
the fear.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the fear.
the best thing you can do is admit fear. That's the most courageous thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've been in combat. I admit fear. It's not if I'm not in fear, then something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
So what do I do with that fear? Courage is not. You can't be courageous without the element of fear.
That's
otherwise,
correct.
it's not even fucking courageous.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're just kind
It's
of
okay to be
sociopath.
scared, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's okay to not know. And that's when the courage. Okay, I don't know. I'm fucking scared to death. I don't want. I'm afraid of what the personalities or whatever will come out. Right?
Mhm.
Like that's a I think a pretty genuine fear. Right?
Yeah.
No one's gonna knock you for that, but you got to do it if you want to get better. But only you can do that. You know what I mean?
That is correct. You're the only one who's in control of yourself.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like you're the only person that could say you're an alcoholic. I can't tell you you're an alcoholic. Neither can Johnny.
Yeah.
You got to look in the mirror and say, shit, man, I'm a fucking alcoholic.
Oh yeah, no.
You know?
100. Yeah.
And you've got
absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
You know what's going on.
I look.
It's
I
the
look in
fear.
mirror and say that every day.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Hey, you're an alcoholic, and maybe you should do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can do it, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Preston.
Well, look, man, we're here
100%.
for you. You know what I mean? We have, we can help
Everything.
you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of assets, obviously. And yeah, I mean, I encourage you, if it's smart recovery, if you want to try 12 steps without the religious aspect, shit, we're all game about that. Whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah. Anything we could do to help you, man.
Yeah, I mean, smart recovery has definitely helped a lot of people get sober, dude.
Yeah, and stay sober. But I think for you, it's in like Preston asked, like treating the co-occurring, side by side at the same time.
Yeah.
Not treating the mental health, not treating the substance abuse, but actually treating both, parallel the whole way through. I think would benefit you greatly.
Which starts with getting the substances out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And hitting that baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate your courage. I mean, it's courageous to come out here knowing that we're probably gonna fucking pick you apart a little bit on what's going on.
No, yeah, I wouldn't have the balls to sit in that chair right now. I wouldn't. I
No,
wouldn't.
I'd be squirming all over the place.
Oh
well, I
my
don't.
God,
I don't
man.
even. I'd be like,
Yeah, I wouldn't even showed up.
I mean,
I wouldn't even have
I
showed
don't even
up.
have a job, nothing. Come here. If you paid me to come here, I might show up.
Yeah, a couple hundred, right? Yeah, write the check.
Some point, give me
You
40
take
bucks.
50
Give me a
bucks.
20 and a 20, bro. Give me a little 20.
Give me
and
a tenner,
20.
man.
He's not kidding, bro. Give me $5 rock and I'm coming.
Give me some fake gold. I'll sell that shit.
That's it. Yeah. His platinum chain. He got the platinum chain on.
Yeah. Long story. That's right. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. It was enlightening for me, man.
Yeah,
you know,
this was really good, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we mean it. Like, if we can help you out,
Yeah.
you know,
I will absolutely
we have the
let you know.
ability to
Anyway.
help.
Yeah.
You know.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously.
Anything you need, man.
All right, Semper Fi, dude.
Thank you. Semper Fi.
Semper
man.
Fi, baby.
Hoorah.
You
Yeah.
can't-
Hey, don't say that. I'm just kidding.
You're not
I'm gonna
allowed.
shank him today, bro.
All right, yo, do your
Yeah,
little fucking,
yeah. Do my little thing.
do your spiel, dude.
All right, guys. Thank you again for watching the episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Please comment. Give us something to respond to.
Talk shit.
Tell us what you're feeling, what you're going through. Tell us that me and Johnny suck, or, you know, you don't like what Johnny said, or you don't agree with Johnny said, or, you know, Johnny sucks really bad. Just say it. Just say it.
Or you could use proper grammar and
Say
say
whatever
Johnny
you
and
want.
I, but yeah.
Johnny has a prethula, you know. No, again, thank you guys. Subscribe. You know, we're really trying to build something special here, and we're really trying to help as many people as we can. So, and again, you know, if
All
you
right.
or a loved one is struggling,
goes.
reach out to us. You know, let us know anything we can do to help.
Longest outro
We
in
will.
history.
100%. God bless you guys, and Johnny sucks. Fucking guy, bro.